In this video, we are going to see how you can configure Entity Framework Core using the approach database first and also using a SQL Server database. What are the requirements? You need to have installed in your computer Visual Studio Community, MySQL Workbench, and some SDK of the .NET Core. If you don't have any of these tools, I will leave in the comments another videos where you can see how to install Visual Studio Community, MySQL Workbench, etc. Which package we are going to install in our project? First, we are going to install Entity Framework Core. It's a package that allows us to access to the database, do the queries, insert new, handle the different tables, insert data, delete data, update data, etc. Entity Framework Tools is another package that is going to allow us to do everything related to the migrations, like add a new migrations, add the context, etc. And then in this case, we are going to use a SQL Server database. In this case, you need to install a specific package. But if you want to use another database like MySQL, I have another videos about MySQL with Entity Framework Core. You need to install a different package here, the same with Oracle Access. And last, we are going to use the database Nordwind. Okay, let's start. The first thing that we are going to do is generate we need to have a database. In this case, I will do through Nordwind. I will open SQL Server. And here I have the script to generate this database. But if you have another database already installed in your computer, feel free to use it. Okay, we need to wait for SQL Server. I will enter, and the third thing that we need to do is create the database. Here I will put right click. I will put here in new database, and I will create a new database with the name of Nordwind. I will put OK, and then I will open the database, and here I will click in Nordwind, right click, and I will put new query. Okay. And here I have this script. I will leave this script in the comments of the video. I will copy all of this, and I will paste here in the script, and then I will put this icon of execute, and we will see if everything was successful. You can expand here the database Nordwind, and here in the tables you can see all of the tables with the data. We can put here right click and select top 1000 rows, and you can see the data. In this case, in our app, we are going to consume this data of customers, and this is the objective: create an web API with Entity Framework Core and consume this data that it is in a SQL Server. Okay. Now we are going to create our project. I will open Visual Studio Community 2022. I will leave also in the comments another videos where you can see how to install Visual Studio if you need it. And then I will put here in order to create a new project. Here we need to say which type of project we want to create. In this case, I want to create an API, NetCore API. I will choose this one, and I will put here next. Then we need to put the project name, and in this case I will put Entity Framework Core Database first. I will put next. Here the framework that I'm using, it is .NET Core 8. You can have another version, but you need to be aware when we install the different package, we need to put the same version 8, or if you are using the version 9 or 7, if you have some errors when you are installing the package, you need to be careful with that. You need to install the same version. I will tell you more in a second. I will put create then. Okay. And here we have our project. I cannot do zoom here, but I can do zoom here. I don't know. Okay. I will open the project with click here. The first times take a little more time, but then it is faster to see if everything is working as expected and if you don't have any error. Okay, it is just compiling. We need to wait a little. Okay. The first time takes a little more time, but then it is more faster. In my case, I am recording the video and it is taking the resources also. But here we have one endpoint that it is this endpoint that you can see here in the controllers. And this endpoint have only one method, get. And here, if you want to test this endpoint, you can expand here the get and click here in this button, try it out, execute then. And here we have all of the data with the status 200 that it was successful and it is working properly. Okay. I will close this one. If you want to stop the project, you can do clicking this button. And then I will remove this controller. You can do right click here and put delete. And the same I'm going to do with this class. I will put right click and I will put here delete. Okay. Here, okay. The next step that we need to do is install the 3 packages that we need. In order to install the package, we need to do click here in the solution in the project. Here, right click, and you need to go to this tab that says Manage NuGet Package. Here you have 3 tabs. You can see the things that you already have installed, but if you want to browser on internet in the repository another package, you need to click here in browse. The first package that we need to install is Entity Framework Core. I will put here Entity Framework Core, and this is the package. The package that in this moment had 1 billion of downloads is the package that we want to install. Here you can see what is the purpose. It is Entity Framework Core is a modern object database mapper for .NET, and you can do the queries and you can do everything, this and more. Okay, here you have the version. For example, I told you that if in your project you have a version 7 installed, for example, you need to put here some of the version 7. You can put this one, or this one. The problem is that if you put the version 8, maybe you can have a problem here with the install. If you don't have any problem, it's okay, but keep aware of this. You need to, if you are using the version 8, you need to put some of the version 8 here. It doesn't matter if it is the version 8043, but this first number should be the same. Okay, I will put here install. I will apply. I will accept the license. And here, if you want to check if the library was installed correctly, you can go to here dependencies and package, and here you have the package that we recently installed. If you want to remove this package because you want to install another one or you don't want anymore, you need to do right click here and put here remove. Okay, the next package that we need to install is Entity Framework Tools. is this one that had almost 300 millions of downloads. And with this package, we can do all of these commands. And in our case, the only command that we are going to use in this video is this one. But you can also do more. You can execute more commands. Now I will install the package. I will put apply, accept, and here the package was added to our projects correctly. And the last package that we need, it is Entity Framework SQLServer, because in this case we want to use a SQLServer. But again, if you want to use another engine, you need to install another library. I will download this one that have 460 million. I will put here install, apply, and I will accept. Okay. We have all of the package necessary. The next step is we need to generate our model from the database that we have here. How we can do that? Very easy. I will go to the here in Google. I will put here in Google Entity Framework Core. And here you have this, in this site, you have the official documentation if you want to read. But the site that I want to enter is this one, where you can find also documentation that it is very easy and short. But if you scroll here to the bottom, you have a tab here, Entity Framework Core Existing Database. That it is our case. We have the database, and we want to create the context from the database. The command that we are going to use is this one, scaffold db context. And here we have an example where you can pass the connection, which is the provider, in which part of our project we want to generate the project. And here we have an example. Here we have the connection stream. Here we have which is the provider, and here we can and here we are saying all of the context. I want all of the files related to the context. I want to the output. It's going to be a new folder that it is models. Okay, I will copy this one because in our case is exactly the same. And then I need to execute this command in the console. In order to open a console, you need to go to this tab tools, and then you need to put here NuGet Package Manager and Package Manage Console. I will clear this one. I will do bigger this, and I will copy this line. If everything is correctly, we are going to generate the model. If you have some errors, for example, something here, for example, the database is incorrect, but we have an error. We can see which is the error. Bueno, here we have another error. It is about the certificate. If we copy this one and we go to Google again, you can see that the problem is, we need to put in the connection string one parameter more that it is this one. I will open the file. I will copy this connection, this line again. And then I will put here, I will do bigger this one. And then I will add this property in the connection, I mean here. And also our database is not SQLDB, it is Northwind. Okay, I will copy this one again, and I think now it is going to work. If you put the name of the database wrong, you are going to have an error. But here, as you can see, now we have the models that it was generated from the database, and here you have this is the most important file, not doing context, and as you can see here, well, here it is the connection string. This is the connection. Now we are going to delete this because I don't like to have the connection in this file. We are going to do the following. I will copy the connection, and the connection should be in this file app settings. I will double click in this file. I will put here a connection string, that it is an object, and within this object I will create a new property with the name default connection, and here we have the connection. I will save the file and I will close it. Then this one I'm going to delete. Okay. And then we need to do a small configuration in this program CS. And the thing is, we need to add the context. In order to use the context in the controllers or in any part of our application, we need to add the context to the container of the service, and then the different classes can access to the to this instance through dependent injections. What we need to do out here? I will put here add connection, and now we need to access to this variable. I will create a new variable with the name string connection. And how we can access to this property. Here we have an instance of the web application. I will put here builder dot configuration dot, and here in configuration we are accessing to here. We need to access to the connection string and then to the file connection. I will put here connection string, and in brackets, in parentheses, I will put here the file connection. If you want to see if everything is working to here, you can put here and debug. You can click here, and then we can execute again the project. And okay, we are here. Now in this moment it is null this variable, but if you press one time F10, now the variable have this value that it is reading from the app settings. Then I will stop the project, and the last thing that we need to do is to do the connection, because we delete the connection from here, and now the connection is going to be in the program CS. I will put here builder.service.add db context, and here I need to put which is the type of the context. In our case, it is this file of nor context. I will copy this one and I will put here, and okay, everything is working. And I will open parentheses and I will put an expression lambda, and here I will put data dot use SQLServer, and here I need to pass the connection string. You need to put the connection string here that we have here, and that's all. That's all. We have our context in the container. The last thing that we need to do is create the controller. This one I will close, and also this one. In order to create a new controller, we need to, here in the folder controller, you need to do right click, add controller. Here I want to create an API. You need to click here in API, and I will create a controller totally empty in our case. Here we need to say which is the name. I will put here customers controller. For convention, you need to left at the prefix the word controller, but you can remove it, but it is good practice that the controllers finalize with the word controllers. Okay, here we have the controller that it is inheritance from the controller base. And now I will create the constructor. I will put public customer controller. And here we have the control, the constructor. When we are creating an instance of the customer controller, the constructor is the first thing that it is execute. And I will inject in the constructor through injecting dependent injection our context. I will put here Northwind context. I will call it context, and then in order to use this context in the other methods, I need to create here a global variable that it is going to be private, read only. The type it is going to be Northwind context, and I will call it context. And this context I need to it's going to be equals to the context that it is arriving through parameters. And now here with this context, we can access to the database, we can access to the different tables, we can insert data, do queries, etc. Okay, this controller is going to have only one endpoint, that the endpoint is going to be the type get. You need to put here that the oops, I don't know what is happening here. I don't know what. Here. Okay. My keyword. I need to put here that the endpoint it is going to be the type get. It is going to be public. As it is going to be also as async, because in this method we need to access to the database, and this is going to take a little millisecond, and it is going to return a task with the interface action result. That means that you can return if it was a 400 error, a success 200, a creation, etc. And the name it is going to be get, and we are not going to receive any parameter. Then I will put a try catch, because we can have any problem and we need to say to the user, okay, we have this error. Here we have the exceptions in this variable, and I will return to the user, in this case, a bad request, that it is error 400. Something happened, and this is the message of the error. Okay, and here in the try catch, the first thing that we need to do is I'm going to create a new variable that is going to call it list customer, and then we need to access to the context. I will put dot, and here we have all of the tables that we have. In this case, I want to access to the customer table, but if you want to access to another table and insert data, update data, etc., you need to put the table that you want. And the method that we need to use is toList, and very important, you need to put toList async, because it's going to be an async method, because we need to access to the database and it is going to be an asynchronous operation. And another thing very important, we are using the keyword await, and we need to say to the machine, to the method, that we want to wait to these operations to be finalized, and then we need to continue it working. If you don't put the word await, you are not going to get the data. You can try it. And then I will return an status 200, and I will return this variable that it is going to be an array of objects. Now I will test if everything is working correctly. I will execute again our app. Okay, I will remove this endpoint. I will put continue again. And here we have our endpoint or controller customer, and we have a get. I will expand this one. I will put try it out and execute. Okay, I don't know if something is happening. Okay, and we have status 200, and here we have an array of objects, and here we have all of this information that it can be consumed for a front end, for a mobile app, etc. Okay, we finished with the tutorial. If this tutorial was useful for you, don't forget to subscribe to the channels, ring the bell, and like the video to stay in the loop when I release new videos. See you another time.